Hey, this is Mahalia, and here are some stories from the road.
From the south side, summer's outside, chilling, west side, you know what I do, yeah.
God, I think the first time that I was like on the road, I was supporting Jorja Smith in the UK, and I think that would have been, I want to say 2018, the start of 2018, and it was kind of wild because it was my first time being in a splitter van and like going to different places and kind of, you know, going from show to show and city to city, and I loved it. And I remember kind of being on that tour really, really wishing that I would eventually be able to do my own and headline my own tour. And it was a few months later that I did the same route. And I headlined that tour. So, I mean, it's funny kind of talking about my first tour because I love touring, and it kind of, every time I go on tour, it feels like the first time again, because I just find it so exciting.
When I put it on you, are you feeling jealous of me?
Being a headline act versus a support act is like completely different for starters. So when I was a support act, I mean, I remember so firstly, it's different because you're probably in a splitter van, which is much smaller, much more intrusive. You know, I tour with boys, so it's me and like 4 guys sat in this van. The boys are sweating, I'm trying to get some sleep in the back and doing my makeup in the van, and just like funny stuff that like doesn't happen at all now, but it's a huge part of, I think, what created a lot of robustness in me. You know, like I'm kind of like, I can do my makeup while the bus is moving and driving around and moving fast, and I can get dressed in the back of a van, and like there's loads of things about that I kind of miss now in a weird way. It's also really different just because the crowd doesn't know who you are. So, you know, every night I kind of love the challenge of making, you know, however many hundreds or thousands of people fall in love with me, and I don't really mean fall in love with me physically, but just kind of fall in love with me mentally, musically. I loved that feeling. I loved coming out and like, you know, saying, hey guys, my name's Mahalia, nice to meet you. But saying all of that, and I loved that time, there's nothing like being a headline act, you know, being on a bus, having somewhere to sleep while you're driving is really amazing. And also you kind of, you know, I love people. I love getting to sit in a little communal area while we're driving through different cities and talk to the boys, and like that, I felt like that was where we really did our getting to know one another, and they really became my family. So I think being on a bus kind of gives you that. And also there is nothing like walking out on stage in darkness and knowing that the crowd can see your silhouette coming and there's just this roar. And I wished for that for so long, and feeling that for the first time, and then kind of going on to keep feeling that at bigger venues with bigger amounts of people, was incredible. Like really, it kind of lights me up.
Can't see me for free, that's you about it, yeah. Are you really about it, yeah.
It was Camden, it was the Camden Assembly, and it was about 300 people, maybe even less. That was wild. That for me was like, I remember being upstairs in this like little kind of backstage dressing room, like really freaking out, kind of just going like, I don't really understand. And it all happened quite quickly because I was used to doing support tours and kind of doing small stages at festivals and that kind of stuff. And then I had this one song called Sober that kind of had a little, not little actually, I'm being modest, I think it had quite a big moment here in the UK and also in the US, and that led for me to be able to do Camden Assembly. And that was crazy, like going on stage and having people singing the songs and like wanting to sing along with me. That was a whole new world for me, and I remember how exciting it was. I remember having my own rider, which was mad. Like, even if it was just 12 bottles of water and 4 Coke Zeros, like I remember how exciting that was. Kind of, you know. So yeah, I remember that show really well.
Can I play me? I've been back from when I was a baby.
The I Made It moment, I think, was my US tour, which happened in September 2019. And we did 23 shows, and I think 21 of them were sold out. And I like couldn't believe it. Like the whole time I was kind of there, just every night I walked out on stage and I was like, what the hell is going on? And I remember getting to the end of that tour and all of us just giggling, like really giggling. And all the boys that I've toured with for years. And one of the boys, who's my MD, my musical director, Charlie, we've been touring together since I was 17. So he's really been there next to me, watching it grow, seeing it. And me and him always just sometimes look at each other on the tour bus and start laughing, you know? When the crowds get bigger, when the food gets nicer, when the tour bus gets bigger or more lavish, we both kind of look at each other and just start laughing. Because it's just, I remember me and him in a little rental car whizzing around Ireland together, listening to podcasts and like setting, like it's a whole different world. So I would say my US tour was that first moment that I was like, this is kind of crazy.
When I pull up in my ride, tell me what you gonna do when I put it on you. Well, are you feeling jealous of me? Stop it, silly.